We are back, whether you're listening on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Spotify, or you're watching on YouTube. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on the podcast. We're back again, and make sure you're leaving your reviews on all of those platforms. We need all them 5-star reviews on iTunes, don't we? We need to be climbing up those charts. Anyway, today we are joined by Abdullah, Jay, and of course, Gaz is in the house as well. We got a full house. We're here to chat about all things Manchester United. It's been a slow one, obviously transfer window season. How's everyone feeling? Gaz, you all right?
Silly season's in full swing now, innit? I'm already sick of it, mate.
Already?
As soon as that Delit rumour came out, I sort of started rolling my eyes, because that's like a classic link in it for us in the transfer market, where he's been linked to Barcelona and then all of a sudden he's linked to United, and you know what's actually happening. He's trying to get a better contract out of Barcelona.
And now we heard Barcelona were out of the running, and now PSG are in the running, so it's almost as if United are actually in a position to sign him, we're now being forced to up the price again, which is a little bit of a weird one. I don't think we're going to sign him anyway, but I'm a bit like you with the window. I just can't stand it. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for us to sort out the Sean Longstaff and Daniel James type signings, let alone worrying about £100 million players that Barcelona are after. I think we need to get realistic about what's going on. I don't think we're going to sign Delit at all. I think it's Raiola. It just stinks of Raiola, this, trying to get more money, and I think he'll get it, because Barcelona, despite winning the La Liga, have sort of flattered to deceive a lot. They know they've had the issues, and I think they need someone like Delit. So,
do you like the window though? Like, when you're a kid, you get excited.
Yeah, you remember, like, I mean, the Berbatov one everyone talks about, Van Persie. You remember when that broke? I remember being excited about it. So it's had its moments. I think the difficulty for us now is we're just completely rudderless. We don't know who's calling the shots. We just seem to go from one fast to another. And ever since Fergie left, we've been a bit of a shambles. You remember 2013, was it, when we had people pretending to work for United, trying to sign Ander Herrera?
Oh, the imposters.
Yeah.
The 3 lawyers.
Yeah. And, you know, half-10 bids for Fabio Contral and stuff like that on the deadline day, and paying more for Fellaini than we needed.
That said everything about the club, the way the club was run. That kicked it all off, innit?
So
I don't think we're getting him.
I'm the same. I don't think it's going to happen. So I think, you know, I just wanted to start signing someone, because Ollie settles his target, on it, of the 3rd of July, is it? Of getting all transfer business done. He said he wants all the transfer business done by the 3rd of July. I don't know why he's picked this date in particular. It might be for the tour, But it does seem like you're sort of making it harder for yourself, because now you've only got a month, basically, to get all your business done in and out, rather than the 2 months you would have had.
You like the window? I know you do. You're moaning about it a lot on Twitter, but you do love to talk about it.
It's like with the reports that come out, you get people that just hype off what's gone on Reddit, and then you get all these Barcelona reports that are coming from Spain that he's not going to Barcelona anymore, and then everyone's hyping off that, but there's not a single reliable source from the UK, and that's exactly what happened with De Jong. There was no reports coming from France. Everything was coming from Spain, from all these tier 1 sources. But all they're doing,
I hate that word.
Like someone's gone on Reddit and just gone, oh, we're signing him, and whatever verified bot's just gone, yep, this is a verified source, and then everyone on Twitter's gone mental, and then everyone thinks we've already got the guy done and sealed. I just don't get it. I think until a reliable source comes out and actually says, you know, we're in and we're talking to the guy, then I can't really take it seriously. And I say from the UK, because the same thing happened with De Jong, where the guys in Barcelona were saying he's going PSG, and then that might have pushed Barcelona to offer him more money or get the deal done or whatever. And I think that's what's sort of happening. Apparently there's this thing where they want Barcelona to look like they beat United to him, and they're spending the money. Barcelona's contracts are huge as well, so I don't think it's just the contracts. And Real Madrid are apparently in for the run-in now, so I just can't see us getting him, to be honest. I'd be lovely. Can't see it happen.
The thing with the thing that could potentially let us in is because Barca are in for other players as well. That's potentially one way in for us, because, you know, we know they're not going to be spending over 100 million on 2-3 players. And if Griezmann is going to go there, no, that one's gone quiet. But we just need to get our business done. Someone like Delit should be seen as a luxury. We shouldn't be hanging our whole window on a Mattis.
That's the worry, innit? That we hang everything on Delict, and then Harry Maguire or Alderweireld and these players that could possibly be available, you wait too long. And as we've seen with the Contral stuff, and then we only ended up with Fellaini at the end of that. it's just sort of like the same thing where we're dragging it up until the end and then we're not getting who we actually want. And that's why probably, Ollie's set a deadline, because he wants to know exactly the way that we want to be playing next season with the players he gets.
But we remember Jose set these deadlines as well. Everyone set these deadlines. It's just, I don't know. I don't really go by these deadlines. If we get a business done, I think we need at least 4 signings, top
I think
signings.
A few more. It depends what we want out of next season.
Depends who
4th place.
goes as well.
Yeah.
What is that? What we want from next season? 4th place.
I think if the squad stays similar to what it is, we're going to finish 5th or 6th again.
Oh yeah, if it stays similar to what it is, but hopefully 4 signings, you'd hope that we've got a squad to make 4th place.
No, we should be making signings that should hopefully give us a chance to challenge. We shouldn't be doing anything else. I don't think it's that far of a... I know it's a big points gap, but when you look at the way we were playing, the points that we dropped, where we dropped some of those points, we should be able to, if we have a good season, close a lot of that gap. We should be challenging. Realistically,
I think
way off.
2 defensive signings, a right back and a centre back, would make all the difference. I think 2 big signings. I think if you get... I know I keep banging on about it, forgive me, but now wan-bissaka, and then I know it won't happen. Say you got your man who you love dearly, yeah, him. Yeah.
That's
so you
perfect.
got, I know, but
Can't
say for
pronounce his
example,
name.
Kalabalad is not happening.
yeah, say you got them 2 in, all of a sudden your team looks a hell of a lot stronger, and I think that you've looked going forward. I've not really got as many issues with us attacking wise. Pogba, if we keep hold of him, he's on his day still world class. There's no denying that. So I don't think we're that bad. I think it is a massive if because we're so weak defensively.
I think the problem is if you look at Jose Mourinho at Madrid and I think they scored the most goals ever in a La Liga season, and a lot of people call Mourinho a defensive manager, and that's why the blame doesn't just go on him. He trusted that attacking line because he had a defence. He had a back line.
They did have a Ronaldo.
But that is true. But he had Ramos, Varane. He had a back 4 that he trusted week in, week out, and it allowed Madrid to play like that. Yeah, we don't have Ronaldo, but we do have luxury players in the side like Pogba. And I think until you have a fixed defence that you trust, then I think we're just going to keep seeing these goals, flooding in against us next season again. And I think, like you said, you prioritise 2 defensive signings and maybe try and make some clever signings like a Rabiot and a free. I'd like Rabiot. I think he's a brilliant midfielder. We don't always have to overspend. I think it's just making the right moves, to be honest.
So I'll say this: before the Ligt rumours started, I thought that all the players that we were linked to looked like really good young players, the type of players that we should be buying to sort of flesh out the squad. Especially since I expect a lot of sort of second string players to be leaving in the summer. I expect
the Ligt does, I think, tick that box as well.
As a
But I get
second
what you said. No, it's not a second string. I thought you meant as a
start,
young kind of player.
Oh yeah, I know, but he'd be straight into start.
Yeah,
You'd think
defo.
Like I feel like if we are
long.
going for backup options, then the likes of Daniel James and Sean Longstaff, they're the sort of players you want to see come in.
I don't think we should be going for backup options though. I think if we improve our starting 11, our squad naturally gets better anyway.
I just think with the contract
because
situation
some players should be dropping
and
down.
how much some players are getting paid, they're not gonna take a secondary role. Like for example, I think if you told Chris Smalling he's not going to be one of our starting centre halves next season, you don't think he'd want to stick around.
Huh?
I know it sounds mad, but
Well,
I
then
genuinely
we
think that's what he'd
say
say.
thank you and good luck.
I know, yeah, I know. I'd love that's what I'd be doing. I'd be looking.
But again, he's another one who just signed a new deal, isn't he? On big money.
Look. I think when we look at Ashley Young, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, they're not going anywhere. But what we hope to see is them not become required every week.
We've wanted that for years.
That should have been the case for the last few seasons. I think the problem we've got right now, what worries me most, isn't those guys, because if we clearly are looking to get a centre half in and a right back. The issue is the likes of Lukaku and Sanchez, like. If they're going to stick around, and not that I think they're bad players, I still think Sanchez can reinvent himself. I still think he can be a good player, just not at United.
Okay.
With Lukaku,
at the MLS,
if he plays week in, week out, I think he's a different animal, and if he's trusted week in, week out, I don't think we have that patience at the time at United and the pressure of the fans, and he thrives off that. It's a bit like Morata, the situation that he had. So if you keep those guys on their combined contracts like over 600k, well over 600k, going to 700k just for those two, and they're not starters next season, that's where the main problem lies. Because if you replace Smalling, Jones and Young, you've got players that are ahead of them. guaranteed to start, and they're not on ridiculous contracts, and they'll sort of have a divide in the dressing room, won't it?
Do you know with Lukaku, I know it's almost, you're not allowed to criticise Ole, but I don't think he managed him well at all this season, because it didn't make any sense what he did with him. He brought him in at the right time, he started scoring, he started looking good, and then he drops him, and he never quite got back, and I don't know why he dropped him. I'd have kept him in, and it was like, he showed that faith in him, and him and Rashford looked like they were developing a bit of a partnership, and then he brought Martial back in. Lukaku was in and out, and he just never got going again, and now it looks like it's done for him.
I hear what you're saying, but I think that kind of represents the whole team, and I think that's why you got to look, you have to give criticism to the manager. I think at times he could have done things tactically different. His selection could have been better. Like I remember, was it straight after PSG against Arsenal or the Wolves game? I remember thinking the selection was strange, but the fitness of it has to come into it, because we saw a drop-off from every single player. It wasn't just one or two. Most of the players had a drop-off, and maybe with a full pre-season we'll see them a little bit better, but the squad has to improve on a whole. If we don't see that, then...
Yeah, I mean, the squad's got to improve, but like you mentioned, Abdul, about relying on these players. If we start next season, and I don't want to keep bringing him up, and I've defended him, season in, season out. But if we start with Ashley Young at right back, it's a bit of a farce. If we're still relying on Phil Jones, it's a bit of a joke. And it's no good getting rid of Tony Valencia and thinking that solves all your problems. It doesn't, because he's hardly played this season. So,
does anyone actually genuinely think we won't be starting the season with those players? Because I still think that, I mean, maybe Ashley Young, it does look like he could be on his way. But I do still think the likes of Jones, Smalling and Luke Shaw, Luke Shaw, I think he had an alright season last season, but for player of the year, I don't think he was that great, and I think we could do with a fullback in his position.
I agree.
I don't think it's a priority.
No, I don't think he's a priority. Yeah. No, I don't. You're right.
I think you can still make top 3 with like a Luke Shaw at left back.
Yeah.
Or maybe even still challenge for a title.
Top 4, I think, maybe, but I don't know. I think you need him.
But if your rest of your team's sound, then we have had players in the past under Sir Alex that are of that quality, or maybe even less.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think he's got another level as well, Luke Shaw, in him. We've seen him play better than he has last season.
Right. He's still young, so.
Under Van Gaal he was one of our best players at times.
Yeah. He always looked better as well when Marcel and Pogba were playing well.
Yeah.
And down that left-hand side, they kind of built something that was quite positive. I don't think Luke Shaw was ever player of the year. I don't even think he was top 3 players of the year. I think Pogba was my player of the year all year long, but...
I'll get where you come from. I'd go with Lindelof for me.
I'd go for Lindelof purely for consistency.
If people just watched Manchester United and we took names off shirts and reputations and that, Pogba would be getting it, I think, all day long. Yeah. So, but who cares? They should have scrapped it anyway.
It's just sad, isn't it, the fact that your best player of the year, who's won 2 Player of the Year awards, is England's 4th choice left back or whatever he is. It's just...
Oh, God.
That's
he's not been called up, has he?
No, he's not. No,
rightly so, though.
Yeah.
He hasn't been called up.
No,
is that right?
I think it's the fact that he can't.
To be fair, he's keeping a lot of the squad the same.
I know, but Man United's player of the year,
he wasn't really player of the year. It's like,
but he was.
Scott McTominay he wasn't really.
Scott McTominay got the Jose Mourinho inaugural.
Oh, it was funny.
Player of the season award. I don't want my goalkeeper getting the player of the year award, so I'm going to invent a trophy for
Allegedly, he found
someone go and get a vase quick. Someone go and get a vase quick so I can give it to you. That was how that was.
I think the thing is with Luke Shaw as well, the reason he doesn't get picked for England, because you look at the football that England play with wing backs, and Luke Shaw can't really play. We've seen like last season, pre-season, he was awful in pre-season. Even he says it like after that Leicester game at home. I remember when he scored and he was like, I didn't have a great pre-season. He was awful because he just can't play that modern, like sort of Danny Rose role. He can't play that, and Robertson can play that, whether it's a right left back or as a wing back. And I think Luke Shaw hasn't got that explosiveness.
Scottish, you know?
Yeah, he's Scottish. But I'm just saying, like in general, like left backs around the Prem, like he's not got that quality. Going forward, he can pick things up and get confidence.
I just think he hasn't got that natural energy.
Yeah.
To be able to get back.
He's not reactive enough for the ball, is he?
He's a fullback. He's a modern fullback and doesn't have that natural energy. Why is he a fullback then?
He plays centre half. I just don't think he's a wing back. I think he's a fullback. I think what we were playing with more, especially when you haven't got much width. These guys are starting on the halfway line a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And they're being asked to beat players, and Luke Shaw's not that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You look at Liverpool as well. They use Trent and Robertson so well, and without them, like if you look at that Spurs game where they won 2-1, the front three were awful. And that's what will probably happen on Saturday night, is that their fullbacks will bail them out.
Just trying to get through a show without talking about that.
We have to, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you should have
2
minute silence from
They'll lose anyways.
Bringing up things like that.
Good luck with that.
We can laugh at Arsenal though, can't we?
What about Arsenal do you want to laugh at? There's so much you can pick from. I mean, they're just embarrassing.
The amount of stick that them lot give us for celebrating winning the Europa League, and then they couldn't even do it.
But I don't think we even celebrated the.
No, we celebrated it like.
I celebrated the fact that we had won every single trophy.
Yeah.
And I'd then seen us win every trophy ever.
Yeah.
Like that's even if you never win a trophy again between now and
why would you not celebrate getting into the Champions League? Why would you not celebrate winning a trophy?
No, I don't like that whole celebrating because we qualified for Champions League.
Yeah, but that was a big part of it, wasn't it?
Even though I once jumped on the pitch to celebrate with Fellaini that we got into the Champions League. I don't like to celebrate those things.
But all rolled into one, it was a monument. Well, not monumental, but it was a memorable.
What did you make of that final? Because for me, Azerbaijan's been one of those countries that I wanted to visit. But having seen that, remember I was saying earlier, I was saying I want to go to my list F1 as well. Like the F1 there looks nuts. Like when you look at the surrounding, but having seen that, the way their feds were, the way everything else, I don't want to see that country anymore. It's like.
Did you see that video of the policeman stopping the fans with Mkhitaryan on?
Yeah. Oh, he's welcome. They were saying.
To be fair, anyone with Mkhitaryan
I think it was because for their safety, to be honest. I don't think they were telling them to take the shirts off. Apparently, they were doing it for their safety in case anyone attacks them or anything.
Okay.
It shouldn't be the case.
It's mad that you've got to.
The case.
But
yeah. It looked like a pre-season friendly there, didn't it? Like it looked like something in Singapore.
It felt like it. I retweeted a tweet that said it felt like a Premier League Asia Cup trophy.
Yeah.
Game. And
the camera angles, everything about it was just
I thought that
screaming
was so that people didn't see the empty seats. I don't know whether I'm being.
That might be the case.
That's why I have my camera angles on Football Manager though. Exactly like that.
I like them further out as well.
Yeah.
No, on FIFA as well. I like it a bit further out, so I can see the full pitch.
It does worry me though when you look at Arsenal and Chelsea, and those are the teams that are around us now, and you look at how the gulf between us and Arsenal and Chelsea and the top two. Because that wasn't all right. Chelsea hammered him, but you take Hazard out of that Chelsea team, which you're gonna, and they ain't that great.
And they got
Arsenal were poor.
Ban.
Yeah, and they've got a window ban. Arsenal were poor.
Yeah.
We're a shambles. And you look at the top two, and maybe you could even.
But then it
Spurs
also tells you that if we do get our act together, then we should be in the top four.
That's what I was
getting. We can focus.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, the glass is half full when you look at it that way. It was just an odd final. It just looked like, you had all the Mkhitaryan thing. You had the Ozil getting subbed and trudging off like it's the 1-0 up. I didn't get that. And then the whole. Just all of it was a bit of a farce, really, and Hazard sort of declaring he's going at the end. Sarri winning a trophy, getting third, and it looks like he could be going.
That interview was a bit persistent, wasn't it?
Yeah. Are you leaving? So are you going to go then?
So what message to the fans that you're leaving? What?
But he kept going in. Hazard would be like, mate, just leave it alone now.
He got a story.
But yeah, kept going. So let's just clarify. It was like, right, he's not letting this one go.
Like sometimes when I'm asking people questions, like if they mishear me or they whatever, I'll just think, I can't be asked to ask you anymore. He was just like, that's why he's on BT. And I'm sat here next to Abdul, I suppose.
To be fair though, it's not
exactly
like,
I love you really, Abdul.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like Jeremy Paxman though, is it? Come on, do you know what I mean? You need an outside on a football pitch. It's not like the most difficult interview.
He is a man that once tweeted, I'll let you know where I'm going soon. So it's not like he's going to keep all his cards.
Oh man, I remember staying up that night just waiting for him to announce it. And didn't he say like, I'm going to the Champions League winners or something?
I made Twitter because of that.
Did you? Yeah.
I knew when he said that he was announcing it, we weren't involved.
Oh,
the club wouldn't allow the power of announcing
not on the field.
There might be some people watching this who are genuinely too young to remember that, because it did happen like 6 or 7 years ago. It did happen six years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hazard.
I was in high school, mate.
Hazard put on his Twitter when he was like the hottest young talent in football at the time. Then.
What's high school? isn't it? It's secondary school.
No,
in
we
England,
say
right?
high school, mate. We say high school.
Second, it's
Manchester, mate.
primary school, secondary school, college, uni. And
Is it high school or secondary school?
Secondary school.
Secondary
Is it high
Mind the
school?
cameras, lads.
Secondary
High
school.
school.
High school.
What?
Yeah.
But some
Yeah,
people do.
there we go.
High school.
Fuck off, Nick.
There we
I'm
go.
secondary.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there is
There's two
high
behind
Until
the
Abdullah
cameras
was
saying
always
high
high
school,
in
lads.
school.
Yeah.
High school's very Americanized.
Yeah.
But it's something that's it's the younger kids.
That's what my school was
Is
called.
that when all the
Rattle High
Tories
School.
sold all the
Yeah.
schools and they became? Did they become high? No, they
I-
became
I-
academies. That's what happened. They
I
became
don't know. I went to
academies.
grammar school, so I don't know what you lot are talking about.
All right, moving on swiftly.
So you get a bit of politics as well.
People here went to high school and secondary school.
It's
trying-
definitely
Yeah,
not
you
high
shouldn't
school.
be in the convo.
passing you
Shut
11
up.
plus. You,
Mixed
you
is 11
donuts.
plus.
It's not hard.
I failed my 11 plus.
No, that's a surprise.
But it was that was a setup anyway. That was a
You saw your name on it. We don't want him in there.
Kids from my area don't know what's going on with all them triangles and stuff like that. Like what was happening with some of those questions on that paper?
You had 1 in 4 chance of guessing
like
it
patterns
right.
and that. Like, oh, there's 3 dots here and there's 2 oblongs there, and then there's
To be fair,
Pythagoras.
what?
my
I'm going normal secondary school.
all my mates failed, and my mum was like, I said to him, I went to go to secondary school with him, and mum was having none of it. She's like, you got in grammar, you go in grammar. And that
Where'd
was the
you
end of
go?
that.
Which grammar?
Elmston Grammar.
Bloody hell.
All my
Aye,
mates went.
grammar school, eh?
All my mates went Ashton, where they sent obviously all the United players, where they send all the United academy
Yeah,
lads.
yeah.
They
Mason
send school in
Greenwood,
Ashton,
Mason
don't they? He
Greenwood.
said he was in the same year as Pogba. The
Bloody
only
hell.
thing he tells me about him is that he used to just like hog the snooker table every lunchtime, all lunchtime.
Good footballers are usually like very good at like everything else as well, isn't it? Like because they just got so much spare time.
Yeah, I suppose.
Some of them are
yeah.
idiots.
Some of them are idiots.
Golf.
Everything.
Michael Owen loves a bit of golf, doesn't he?
Oh,
I'm
that's
knocking over rabbits.
I saw that Michael Owen video the other day for the first time, the one where he's scoring against that kid. I'd never seen it before.
Favourite
Well,
video.
what is it? Well done, he's 13.
Yeah, who's it? Neville Southall.
yeah.
Got to make him think. So what we're going to try and do now, stay as big as you can, on your feet as long as you possibly can, and try and show him which way you want him to go. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Lucky Jamie. There you are. Wait. That's 2 goals. Stay on your feet, Jamie, stay on your feet, stay on your feet. What I tell you. Go. Like that. Stand up, Jamie, stand up. Well done, mate. See how you landed. Come here. Get in there. Well done, he's 13.
Brilliant.
Burying a little ginger kid, I think it's Gaz in goal. He keeps celebrating all his goals in his celebration and that.
Neville Southall's there trying to teach this kid how to be a goalkeeper in the future. Michael Owen's putting him through his paces. You think he'd be like,
Burying
holding
it,
back
mate.
a bit. He's just burying it in the
Yeah,
corner and
bang,
going,
corner,
yeah!
bang, bang.
Kid has to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Do you remember that show where Michael Owen used to come out of the poster?
Nah.
You don't remember that show? Nah. There used to be a show on kids show
A kid
on the
show.
BBC when Michael Owen was the absolute bollocks and he was on
2006.
boxes of cereal and he was
Yeah.
everywhere.
That
And
would've
there
been
was a
early,
show
that.
and there was a poster in his kid's room and I think the kid used to get bullied or I don't know, was lonely or something like that and Owen used to just pop out there.
Can you imagine that? You're a kid, lonely, you get bullied every time you go to school, and then Michael Owen's
Boring Michael Owen.
As if I'm
Get
not
out.
bad
I'd rather be
enough already.
bullied.
Like, fuck
But like,
you
nah,
know.
you're all right, Michael. You can get back in your
Alright.
poster.
I get bullied. I get
I'm
bullied.
good. I'm good. I'll go to school and get bullied. Don't worry about it.
Walks
Hey.
into school, everyone's taking the piss because
Okay,
Michael
now.
Owen's been in his room.
See that kid there?
You've just made it
He's got
worse.
Michael Owen in his bedroom.
We used to take the piss out of him because he's got no mates. Now he's got one mate.
Oh,
It's
mate.
Michael fucking Owen.
Forget that.
Where
need
is
to
that
find-
kid today?
I need to find out
Can we
what
get
show
him on the
that is.
podcast one day? Please.
That was brilliant.
The kid that had the poster that Michael Owen used
I
to
don't
come
remember
out.
this at all, mate. I don't
Yeah,
take it all.
you're a bit older than me.
I'm a
so
little
you
bit,
would
yeah.
have
A bit.
been, I don't know,
Yeah,
probably.
alright.
What
filled
year?
up
What
and
year
stuff
are we
at that
talking
time
here?
When I was watching CBBC.
I was. I was climbing out posters myself.
Find out what the show's called, guys.
Is it Hero to Zero?
It might have
man.
been.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Right, Hero to Zero is a British children's drama about a young boy named Charlie Bryce who has many adventures while receiving advice from footballer Michael Owen.
Did he used to
It
come
was
out
a
the poster?
6-part series that was on in February 2000.
You mean it didn't get
2000?
commissioned for a second
No,
series?
so it only had 6 episodes and you've remembered that.
That's the year I started secondary school. 2000.
Now I was 2 years old.
What are you doing still watching
Wow.
CBBC then?
It was
What,
about
11?
football and Michael Owen.
I'd
Just
watch
after the
that,
World
to be
Cup.
fair.
You used to get bullied in my school for watching CBBC in year 7.
See, if you're like us, you'd wear it proud, mate. And what?
I watched it in secret.
Arthur was good.
I used to like Arthur.
Did
Do you know that it was
you
banned?
hear
Arthur's
about
sick.
recently?
It was banned in
They're
Alabama.
still making it.
You what?
One of the teachers had a gay marriage.
Yeah.
I didn't even realise they were still making it.
Yeah, I think so. Get the gay rats in it.
Yeah, this is taking a mad turn.
I know what you guys are on about.
Football transfer window. Okay.
That's what it does to you. innit?
Predict our window. Or let's say
Oh shit.
predict our 11.
So unpredictable.
Yes.
The first
That's
game
good.
of the
Yes.
season.
All right.
Yes, go on.
okay.
This will get rammed down our
Okay.
throats now
This is so good.
in a few months'
It's a
time.
good shout.
Well,
this.
don't, Messi.
Does someone get a prize from Full Time Devils for this?
Yeah.
How
Why-
much?
Why do you
You
want
get
a
a
prize?
signed Stephen Howson picture.
No, I'm alright.
Actually,
Sorry,
I'll tell you what.
Steve.
It's
I'll
not
tell
a
you
poster,
what,
is it?
if someone gets, it's a Michael Owen poster.
Yeah.
If someone gets the team right on the first day of the season, you might have to remind us and let us know you got it right. But we'll send you one of our Full-Time Devils t-shirts.
Mate,
Yeah.
Abdullah will pay for it,
Yeah.
so we
I don't know. I feel like we'll get a right back, but someone we've not been linked to yet.
I think we're gonna get wan-bissaka.
Do you?
Yeah, I think we're getting one.
I hope we do. You know,
I
if
think
we
we'll
get
get
Aaron.
Aaron.
I'm so long on Wan-bissaka.
But have you heard City want Chilwell? For
All
like,
you've done for the last year is spent
You guys go
time
first.
transfer speculating and who we're going to buy. And now you put on the spot.
I'm gonna
you can't-
forget
his
a name.
main source is Steedo, so
Nah, I don't
texting
use
him now.
Stephen
and
Howson.
Stat
I'm
Tier
man
4
Dave.
source.
Stat man, help me
I'm
out.
ready. Stephen
I got
Howson.
better sources than that, though.
Misfeeding all the info.
Hey,
He ain't got no sauce.
come on.
Tell you
Come
what,
on,
You
sauce.
guys go first.
Frank's hot sauce is
'Cause
the best.
I need
Go on
some reminding.
I'm just putting it together now.
Children.
All right, all right.
Kid made on Twitter.
Transfer news,
Yeah.
Man United.
Dear Lord. Yeah.
The gossip column on BBC. Quick, where's United?
I've gone.
Is De Gea
Ronaldo.
going to be in goal, guys?
Yeah, I've gone with that. I was thinking about that, but De Gea. We'll have a new right back, but I don't think it'll be wan-bissaka. But
Here's
I'll put wan-bissaka in. Lindelof, Smalling, Shaw. I think.
Yeah.
Who's gonna? I don't think Pogba will stay.
No,
I have
he
this
won't.
weird feeling that I don't think Pogba will stay.
He'll stay.
Surely Matic won't still be playing next season.
Why
Matic
not?
should stay. Don't worry about that. He'll
Yeah.
still
Do
be
you
here
think?
pissing
Yeah,
us off next
right, he
season.
will. Yep.
I'm gonna go.
He's such a nice bloke as well, but sorry. He's so
We got him
bad.
at season 2 late, really, didn't we?
Yeah.
A couple of seasons too late.
Fred. Pogba.
Yeah.
No, fuck it. I don't think Pogba's gonna stay, so I'm not putting Pogba in it.
Right.
Honestly, I don't know here. I don't know because I don't know who we'll bring in.
Remember, we have to have finished our business as well because the British transfer window closes the day before the season
I
starts.
think so, yeah.
Is that still the case, Abdul?
Yep.
What's your starting 11?
I just have a
Gaz
sneaky
gave up
feeling.
halfway
Given
through.
up. I've given up when I've got to the midfield.
I'm gonna go with a wild shout and say De Gea's leaving.
Right.
I'm gonna go Onana and goal for my Ajax.
Right.
What's his
I don't
name?
want to say Delict. Onana. Oh, there's some good chance
What's
for
his
him.
name?
mate.
Ooh, nah,
Yes.
Oh, there's some good chance for him.
He
when we
didn't-
sign him.
he
yeah, I
didn't-
get it, man.
he
The
didn't
song-
get it,
Yeah,
Gaz.
shut up. That's
Why's
my
your
fault.
torch on?
Turn your torch off.
Shit.
Focus. Come on.
Give me sunburn.
Hey. What are you doing?
I know, on
He's
accident.
lost his lost.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
God. I tell you what, that
I've
high
been
school
rattled.
education.
Have you
was
gone on
fucking
Reddit
wasted.
to find out what our team's
No,
gonna be
I
on
haven't.
First
All
Saturday of the
right,
season.
all right, we're gonna go for it. I'm gonna say we're sticking with Delo at right back.
No.
He'll start over Ashley Young, please. And then Delict at centre half. I'm just gonna go wild. Why not? Me and Oriola's gonna pull it.
Right.
Lindelof,
We're
Luke
gonna
Shaw.
pull something out.
Yeah.
In midfield, wild shout again. Rabiot,
Yeah.
Pogba, Fred.
Yeah.
Front three.
Rabiot, Paul Pogba, and
Fred.
I don't know if we're gonna start. I feel like we're just gonna start. Surely we're gonna start with it.
Hesse.
It's gonna have to be Jesse, Rashford, and Martial again. I feel like I'm not too. I feel like we
Do you
might.
know what?
We need to
Might
give Marcel
sound
his
like
number
something.
9 shirt back. You know.
I
I
know
don't know
you
if
think,
Lukaku
no.
and Sanchez are leaving yet. That's why I can't really nail that down.
Lukaku's going.
Yeah, I'm sticking to
Conte.
the normal front three.
I'm
'cause I
going.
don't think
David De
that's
Gea is
something.
still going to be here. He's not going anywhere. Clip that up. I think we'll have a new right back, but he probably won't start the first game, so we'll go with Delo. Luke Shaw. Delit. I'm going for it as well, you know. Probably be wrong, but I got a little bit of a tingle in my balls. May need to go see the doctor later.
By me, you know.
Lindelof. Matic is going to start, unfortunately. Pogba. And McTominay.
No chance.
And then McTominay is going to play more than 30 games.
Oh,
next
not
season.
Scott. I'm talking about Matic, actually.
Matic is going to play more than 30 games next season. As well.
Surely we're not starting with
You
him.
nuts,
He's getting
bro.
on if he's
Bloody
done
hell.
well.
Nearly finished. Man. I think that's a good shout, saying McTominay. To be fair,
And
I couldn't
then
think of a sentence.
I was thinking him.
Martial in his new number 9 shirt. Rashford and Lingard. Lukaku's gone.
Right. So did you say De Gea? I think De Gea. I think wan-bissaka. I think Tuanzebe. I think Lindelof.
That's a good shout.
I think Shaw. I'm gonna go. He's just gonna throw youngsters. I'm gonna go Ghana, McTominay, Pogba.
Ghana.
And then I'm gonna go.
Ghana
First
to
game
play,
of
but I
the
don't
season.
think
That
so.
one you do on May the 25th. When you
Listen.
finish fifth.
Ollie's at the wheel, right? This is the new tactic. They're good enough. They're old enough. Yeah. Fucking get in there. Get on with it.
I think we'll sign a defensive midfielder.
Oh, hang on.
Isn't Young being announced as captain? No one's put him in.
No.
No.
It doesn't matter.
So
Valencia was captain.
Paul
He
Pogba
didn't
will
play.
be captain, but Ashley Young will be captain.
Paul Pogba won't.
But it'll just be one of those ones that you could just.
Who did
Slowly.
Right,
Gary
with Gary Neville was club
Is
captain.
that Gary Neville?
Gary
but
Neville was
Ferdinand
captain
or
for,
ever
like-
had it or whatever.
Brian Robson was captain for like 2 years and was like a reserve.
And it really was like Cantona.
Like when him and Bruce lifted the trophy together, he wasn't really a first choice anymore.
Was that Gary Cahill yesterday, innit?
Anyway, I'm not finished before you
Full
rudely
kit.
interrupted me. And then for front three, I'm gonna go with Bale.
Oh, shut up.
I'm
Jake.
going
Get outta
there.
here,
I'm
man.
going there. It stinks
outta
of Ed
here.
Woodward
It
that
does
signing.
stink of Ed
It's an
Woodward.
absolute
That.
Ed Woodward-esque signing. Gareth Bale for 200 million.
He just
He'd
said
love
he'd
that.
rather play golf.
Right.
Why would
listen,
you sign
I
him,
didn't
man?
interrupt you when you were going on with yourself.
Mate,
about
we play football.
We're
Like
not
we
signing
play
Bale.
golf.
The lit
Shut
coming.
up. That is worth an
The
interruption
lit
right there.
coming,
That's
right?
unacceptable.
Bale, Sanchez, and Lukaku. Up front.
Sanchez.
I think that
No
might
one
be
will have
the
him.
worst
Nah.
front three I've ever heard in my life.
Jay.
On paper, that should be one of the best front threes.
Yeah, you dream of that 10 years ago. In fact,
You
10 years
wouldn't-
ago,
you-
a few years ago, you'd be like,
Have you
"Rah."
just chucked the other front three out for that? And you served us that?
I'm not saying that's what I want. You know my love of Marcus.
No, but you still
But I'm
think
saying that's what I
Rashford would
predict.
start.
I don't know, man. Maybe.
So,
He might
no,
have a-
actually-
the first day though, he might give him a bit of a breather because he'll have a busy summer.
Talking about Marcus and Jesse, what did you make of the reaction to them being at a game?
Ridiculous. Don't get me started on that.
Absolutely
Mate. Honestly,
ridiculous.
the hyperbole over that
Burley.
was ridiculous. The
Do
thing
you
is,
relate to
right,
Craig?
Everyone was saying, "Oh, Beckham this, Beckham that. You could learn from Beckham. Look at Beckham, how great he is." People forget in '98, everyone wanted to kill Beckham because he wore a skirt.
You went out in a
Sarong.
leather skirt.
Yeah, and he was going out with a Spice Girl.
I used to
People
get it
forget
in the
that.
neck, you know. I got
Do
it
you know
in
what
the
I
neck
mean?
at that
People
time.
forget that,
I
and
had
now it's
curtains
like-
and shit, so people used to just, Beckham's
Mate,
wearing a skirt, you knobhead.
I've got my ear
Oh,
pierced purely because
mate.
Beckham got it done. Genuinely.
Is that when he had the cross in his
Just
ear?
got yeah.
Or is that the one when he cut his hair?
2003 it was.
Do you remember when he cut his hair and we played Leicester?
Yeah, I had that haircut.
Gigs,
Got that
rubbed
cut.
his head.
Yeah. So I said, went to my
You
mum the
guys
next
were
day. I was like, on
taking
the
it
head
to a
shape.
new level there. Get your hair cut and putting earrings.
Nah,
in
kids
because
were
of
obsessed
Beckham.
with Beckham though. He's
I
right.
was
I
obsessed
can't
with
say
Beckham.
anything
You
about
can't
it.
say anything. You were 28.
I was yeah. By the time Beckham was playing, I was 18 in '98. Thank you, but I wasn't fucking. I didn't have a choice about modelling my hair on him.
Yeah.
I'd already started to go bald.
I had curtains for a long time.
Yeah, and I'd
I even used to use-
look ridiculous in curtains.
I used to use Brill cream and everything.
Oh my
Nick,
god.
Oh,
Put
God.
curtains on him.
Do you know what I mean?
Jay.
It looked like
Just-
Peter
yeah,
Andre
great.
if you put curtains on him.
Thanks, mate. Say that all day long. Hey,
But yeah, with this, I think.
on, what you-
the
Thanks
main-
for,
the
thanks
main-
for getting us back on topic.
I think the main problem that I've got with this is like people defending them for like you had the replies to Marcus Rashford tweeting about Manchester's attacks and showing respect, and then just some wild replies there. Which
that
was
was
embarrassing.
beyond
Embarrassing. There was loads of them. There was
Yeah.
people from Manchester there as well,
the pale.
which was shocking. And that's my main problem is when you start defending Rashford for that, then people start replying to you about their ability. I don't care about their ability. If you understand anything about this club, then you shouldn't be replying with anything other than respect to that post. And you just had half of that. You had half of that post filtered with United fans. It's so toxic right now.
On the other hand, though, bro, there's no defending another thing that happened that same week, and that's what happened with Jesse Lingard on social media, where he put up that post for the Manchester attack, and he branded it with his thing. Now, fair enough, that obviously wasn't Jesse Lingard who made that and then tweeted it out, put it out on his Instagram. It was a member of his social media team.
It was on the clothing brand's Instagram.
Why hasn't he come out and apologised since?
I think probably being deleted is probably... I know what you're saying. You should apologise.
And I just need to say this. Sorry. Can I just say this as well, so it just doesn't seem like I'm going on about Lingard too much. Phil Jones did the exact same thing a few years ago for the Munich.
But then that's what I was about to say.
He was a knob as well.
He should have learnt from that.
Yeah.
So his team should have... I'm not going to say he should have learnt from that. His team should have learnt from that.
Lingard had it last season as well, didn't he? On the Memorial Day, he tweeted something.
No, a commercial post went out while he was at the...
that was it.
He wasn't even on his phone in the thing, innit? He was at the actual...
So he's not sat there working out.
It's like scheduled posts, isn't it?
He should still say sorry.
Yeah, he could still just put a tweet out. But then again, Gaz, it's like if you put a tweet out, what's going to be underneath it?
It's a good point.
It just
after he's seen what happened to Marcus, especially,
yeah,
and the abuse that they get as well. Lingard especially. Hey, look,
3 months ago, Marcus scored the winner against Paris.
Criticise players' performances all you want, and it's like, but even when we're talking about performances, I still find it a little bit aggressive when people are talking about Marcus Rashford. Lingard's a little bit older, and I understand he can take it a little bit, and if he's not performing, it's got to the point now where he's not really going to get much better as a footballer, so I understand, criticising the performance. But Rashford is a young player from the academy from Manchester who's still got loads more left to give, loads more to grow, has shown more than enough to suggest that he's going to be a top player one day.
I think there's this sort of campaign going on where everyone's like, oh, Rashford's only here because he's Manc or because he's local. That isn't the reason. He's in the team because he's good enough.
Now, you know what happens as well? And it's
stupid.
I don't know if it just happens with football fans in general, but I've seen it a few times with United where it happened with Tevez and Berbatov. It happened with there's a few other players. So what will happen? I think Johnny Evans was one and PK, where they'll defend one player, but in defending the other player, they have to totally lay into the other player. Yeah. And it's like, you don't need to criticise one to praise another. Yeah. You don't need to praise one to criticise. Like, it's kind of mad to me. Like, these are all members of the same team. But I remember when Berbatov used to get it in the neck because Tevez wasn't starting. And it's like, that's not Berbatov's fault. People say, he don't care. He's got no passion because he don't run around. Berbatov is a baller. You think he don't care? The guy was crying when he never got selected for the Champions League final.
Don't
and that's like
on that.
That's like why I just don't. I find some of these things like over stupid things like he don't run around or he don't care. Like, you don't know. Like, you're telling me Ashley Young don't care? Of course he fucking cares. It's just shit.
Yeah. No,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's just.
With you, that's
of course
true.
He cares.
Of course he does.
Phil Jones cares. You think he'd be throwing his head on the floor trying to stop balls going in the box and that if he didn't care? He cares. He's just not great. Same with Smalling. He cares. He's just not great.
You can say that some care more than others, though.
But how do you measure that? I don't think you can measure that. And I think I've said this before. Arsene Wenger said it best, and I very rarely agree with him. But British people and British fans, you could be the shittest player on the pitch, but if you run around and you throw yourself into challenges, even though you're pulling yourself out of position and all that stuff, they'll love you for it. And I just find it mad. I think we value the wrong things in football in the Premier League.
I think what you hinted on something. I think what I've seen a lot recently is, whilst people want to defend like Pogba, and I understand that because he gets the most crap and it's unfair a lot of the time, they sort of put Rashford in the firing line. They're like, why is no one hammering him? Everyone's saying the same. Why is no one hammering him? Who the hell's defending him? Went through a stage where you look on social media and everything. I understand. Then people start talking. Pundits don't actually defend Pogba, and they have more of an influence with Rashford and stuff like that. Then again, Rashford's still a young lad. He's 21. When you compare the goals that he's scored at that age to the likes of Robben, Salah, all those players, Ronaldo at that age, Shearer again, Harry Kane. You've just got to understand that this guy's good enough to be in the side. It's not just
Harry Kane was on the bench at Leicester or something like that.
Yeah. I feel like the people have been supporting a different football club for the last few years if they're giving real dog's abuse to Marcus Rashford. I feel like not only you've seen how these young players develop and how they become world stars. If you've been a United fan for longer than 6 years. You've seen it happen.
Yeah.
So surely we should be getting.
People used to
behind
call Ronaldo a one-trick pony.
I remember.
Say it was useless. I remember my dad used to say, nah, this Ronaldo's quality dad. Like, shut up. But he's like the same thing. And it's like, some people just, I don't know, they look for different things in footballers, but
It's
I
got
think
so
you
much
gotta give him time.
nastier though
And
nowadays.
a lot of, especially with Rashford, and a lot of people that are getting onto Rashford are the same people that say, "Oh, bring Greenwood in, bring Chung in."
Mate,
Like,
mate,
what?
mate,
You gotta do
bring
the same to
Greenwood in.
these, like-
I give it
Oh,
6 months
no.
before they're calling for him to be sold.
Did you see him
Mate,
after Cardiff?
Charlton.
Forget 6 months. Did you see after that Cardiff game? He was minting that Cardiff game, and those people rinsing him. There's
Mate.
people saying he should be out the team, as in like he shouldn't have started. And there's people saying that you'd be rinsing him if it was Rashford. Like,
Before we move on from that link, sorry guys, I'll bring this to you actually. Some City fans were saying online, now I bring these up for a reason.
Both
that-
of them.
Yeah, both of them online.
both say.
Because of the way Sterling was treated, a lot of them, the one that I read said we shouldn't stay quiet over it because it's United players. And they were basically comparing the treatment of Rashford and Lingard to the treatment of Sterling in the media and stuff. We saw what Paddy Power tweeted at the weekend. Jesse Lingard had a pair of glasses on or something, like he needs it smacked off his face or something.
Yeah.
And he's like,
It's aggressive.
do you agree with that there may be either consciously or subconsciously a racial aspect to it?
Subconsciously, definitely. I think that people feel like they own footballers, and people feel like they own black footballers more than they own white footballers. And I still do believe that older people will have a go at me for this, but I am of the opinion that older white men in this country believe that these black footballers are almost there to entertain them and entertain us, entertain the white people, and if they don't adhere to their way of life and their culture and their upbringing, then they'll get criticised beyond belief. And I do believe it's racially motivated, mate, at times. And I think you've just got to look at the language you're using sometimes. Like that, the Paddy Power thing was weird.
too
I get angry
That
when
was
it's like
weird.
attitude stuff.
The attitude, that
Attitude or
word
lazy or...
I get that.
makes me
but
feel weird.
I've said before, it's the compliments that get me more than the insults. I think there's this lazier stereotype that if you're black and you're successful or you're talented, it's because you're physically good, not because you put the graft in, not because you've worked hard and trained hard and sacrificed, and because you're immensely talented. It's just because you're a bit faster and stronger than other people. But I also think as well, I get where you're coming from in that, and I see your point, guys. A lot of the criticism seems to be towards Rashford, especially in Lingard, coming from African accounts.
And he made that point.
And he's right. I've noticed a lot of it. I'm not saying it's all of African or anything stupid like that, but a lot of it does seem to be African accounts who are targeting Rashford and Lingard in particular, which I find a little bit odd because they're saying the same criticisms about attitude, about bullying and all the rest of it that you would associate with a Graham Souness type character.
But I think
someone
they're
like
really
that.
reactive, some of the guys,
And
on that platform.
I do find a little bit weird.
where someone says something and then they sort of follow through. We've seen that, like,
I think it's almost now.
social media.
It's
innit,
almost becoming like, for want of a better word, there's that. It is becoming like, deviance amplification or whatever. But I do feel like it's almost becoming like an easy target and almost like trendy or cool, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
To hate on Rashford and to hate on Lingard.
I think that's what it's
and
become.
to praise
Yeah.
Martial and to praise Pogba. And I think it's sad that it's coming like that because, I'm from an era, we all are, where you back your own and you stick together. And Fergie used to ingrain that in everyone. It's us against the world. And now it just seems to be more us against each other.
Do you remember Zlatan? Probably his last month or two at United, and he had a really bad run of form. I thought his last few games, a lot of people thought he was really
that
poor.
Burnley game, wasn't it?
He's a footballer who's obviously like made a name for himself and being arrogant and that type of player. And he's an older player who can take a bit of abuse. Not once did I see his attitude get questioned towards the end of his time at Man United.
And that's why.
Whereas Marcus Rashford, when the word attitude comes out from Marcus Rashford, Lingard, I don't get it, but I feel like maybe there's scope for someone to say it because he dances after he scores, and some people describe that as cocky. And I don't necessarily think that that's racially motivated. I think that dancing after scoring, you could consider it a bit cocky. I personally love it. I think I want more cockiness.
It's funny
in
you
football.
say that though.
I think it's great. But with Marcus Rashford, what has he actually done to even?
There's this thing where
to be
out of nowhere
to
it's
have a
come
bad
out that
attitude?
he's
What has he done?
arrogant. And I think the worst thing that I've seen, the most thing that bugs me actually about it is that Sun report about him having wage demands and all of that. Complete fabrication. And all the United fans who, if it come out about Martial or Pogba, and I'm not, because I'm defending Martial and Pogba when it's come out from the Sun reports about them two, they've defended it and said they've rubbished the Sun. But when it's come out about Rashford, they're talking about, like, I don't get it.
No.
And they've kept, and when people have found out it wasn't the BBC, it was the Sun, they've kept their tweets up because they've got loads of retweets. And I think that's what, and a lot of these guys are match-going fans. And there was loads of them all over Twitter. So it's not just Twitter. There's match-going fans that need to sort that crap out as well.
A bit uncomfortable with some of it. Now, I think Rashford and Lingard rightly deserve some criticism for their performances. When you go away from that, it starts becoming a little bit petty. But the reason why I think it is either subconsciously or consciously, and I'm not saying everybody that criticises them is racist, because that's a big brush to be tarring everybody with. But when you see, like, Herrera, he wasn't injured, he didn't play for United. He was discussing contracts elsewhere, wouldn't sign a new deal, did some videos saying goodbye like anyone really cared about it. Can you imagine if that was Paul Pogba or Jesse Lingard or someone like that? The reaction to those players, what it would be. It wouldn't be the same as Herrera. Yet, when Herrera did that, the narrative around him was, we need him to stay. The club should give him more money. But if that was Pogba, it'd be, he's a greedy fucker.
Does that not go back to your thing,
Is
though?
this and is that?
The point you made earlier about a lot of fans liking players that run around a lot, that kick
Yes,
people.
but then also...
Because he's a bit like that, isn't he, Herrera?
Matic hasn't performed. Is more senior. Spent a lot of money on him. Has won things. No one says anything about his performances. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, just ever.
But I think the thing with
And he's more experienced. Shouldn't he be taking the control?
I get you. I'm not disagreeing with you. My point is, maybe some people look at Matic and think it's not a case of he's not trying. It's just a case of he's not good enough anymore.
Okay.
Where the criticism, I'm not saying it's true, with Pogba is he is good enough. He just goes missing.
Okay, let's say Jesse Lingard had a bottle of JD in his changing room locker.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal. Footballers can have a drink whenever they
Why not?
But
I'm
just, you know how the media reacts.
Same standards.
How would that then?
Yeah.
And I think there's certain things that happen.
I get where you're coming from.
And when you see them, and it's like,
Yeah.
but then Ashley Young gets away with some stuff sometimes. You know, but then he doesn't. At the other times, he gets ripped a lot of times.
It's almost like you see what you want to see. Like you going back to the Sun thing,
Yeah.
I would never trust. You know, if the Sun says it's raining, I'll go out in my t-shirt. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, the absolute ridiculous newspaper. I don't even class it as a newspaper. It's a comic book. But if people want to believe something, then all of a sudden the Sun are golden, and we must trust them because they've said Marcus Rashford is demanding £500,000 a week or whatever it was. When it's obviously nonsense. And I think that's what happens. People just see what they want to see, or they go to the newspapers, the stories that they want to. So if you don't like Paul Pogba, and then the Daily Mail put out a story that Paul Pogba has just bought his mum a new house or something, and then you look at that as a reason to criticise him, when obviously any rational person would think, well, he wouldn't do that.
Right, before we wrap up, I've got a few questions from the people at home. If you were a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, then what would your name and what colour would your eye mask be, says Andre?
Out of the ones that were available,
I was the red one.
I was Michelangelo, the orange one.
I had all the gear.
Donatello?
Donatello.
I didn't.
So you didn't go grammar. Donatello.
Because I don't know the Teenage Mutant
the
Ninja
name after
Turtles.
Renaissance painters.
Asif says, if Ale doesn't get the job, get top 4 next season, should he
Ricardo.
still keep his job? I say no.
You what? So say that again.
If Ali doesn't get top 4 next season, does he keep his job? I say no.
Nah, he doesn't.
Depends. If he got 5th and the FA Cup, keeps it.
If he gets 5th,
like Van Gaal.
5th in the Europa League, he'll keep it.
If he finished outside top 4, I don't know. I think no matter what we think, he'll be gone.
In a word, Musty asks, do you think De Gea will leave United this summer, Gaz?
No.
Yep.
So 3-1 today. No's. Will Lukaku leaving help the club more than it hurts us, says Nash?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think it's a necessary sale, but I think it could help us move forward quicker than if we kept him for a season.
I think it helps both parties, to be honest.
Agree.
Was Solskjaer naive when he said he wanted signings before July the 1st, says Manib? I think yes, because he clearly never worked with our board before. Is it time to question the coach's abilities and schedules? I don't get that.
Does he mean in terms of training, maybe in terms of fitness?
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what you're saying?
We can't question these lot till they've had a...
Exactly, yeah. The fitness issues came from...
The word from United is that...
Jose.
From inside is that the players are just not fit enough.
Is this your tier 4 source telling you this?
Here we go.
Where have you got that? You just Googled that.
If it's
Just
from
Google
your
it
tier
for
4
us.
source,
Nah, but
we don't want it on our
Hey.
podcast.
Nah.
Do you know what I mean? Come
The
on.
thing is, though, it's
Tier
not
2
come out
and
more
above.
than
Come on,
once.
mate.
But
We've had Emery Winter
No, it's
on
not
here.
come
He's
out
a
more.
tier
Yeah.
1,
Shut
you
up.
know.
Tier
it's
1,
not,
mate.
it's not come out more than once, and I understand it because they just don't look fit compared to the likes of Liverpool.
By the
and
way,
so on.
Joe Hall says, and I think this is a good question to end it on, I'd have his teammate Jackie Grealish, to be honest, all day long. Does Transzabi
Fraud.
start for United? He's not a fraud, he's a baller.
You know my thoughts.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind him getting another year, maybe,
Same.
at Villa.
Axel,
Axel, yeah, you
I'd
mate.
keep him.
I think if we get rid of a few like Rojo and, you know, something like that, and we don't sign the centre half we thought we would, bring him back. If we sign a Delit or someone, leave him there for at least 6
Yeah,
months.
because Smalling, that will still be ahead of him, won't they?
Well, they shouldn't be, but they will.
They shouldn't be, but they will.
And
Basically.
yeah, bring Jack Grealish in
What
with.
are you doing, you Wally of the week?
I am Madam Mckola. Wally of the week is just Arsenal fans. I think there's so many different things.
Can it
we
not
could-
be? Can it not be? What about
There's so
Ozil?
many different things we could say about Arsenal. Like we had the guys getting wet over making 200 quid off a live stream, which is a bit weird. We had them wanting to scrap each other because, you know,
Yeah.
I've been more games than you, and
Oh, that's
a
funny.
certain
Oh,
section of
you know what's
Arsenal.
mad? When that happens on our videos, which rarely, we cut that out.
Yeah.
We should leave them in from now on. That's how we're going
Mate, you know,
wrong.
some people do that to us at games like they'll come up like, how long have you supported? How long you've not been a United fan this long? Someone came up to me and they were like, where were you in '99? I was like, I was 4. I was like, that's in me buggy.
Someone asked me once, where was I at Ellen Road in '88? My dad's nutsack, you joker. Anyway, Wally of the week here, Arsenal fans here, yeah.
Nah, I'm not gonna go Arsenal fans. I'm gonna go with Emery.
I'm gonna go for some Arsenal related. Arsenal social media manager
Admin, yeah.
for putting that Unai's at the
Yeah.
wheel thing a few weeks ago.
I'm going to stick to Ed Woodward. Till we start making them signings.
Till we sign
You're
someone.
gonna be saying that
Spend
in
it.
20 years' time, mate. Trust me.
And on that note, fuck Ed Woodward and fuck Arsenal. We're out of here. Guys, make sure you're liking, sharing,
Honestly.
subscribing, commenting. Make sure you give us a 5-star review on iTunes. I've put us on explicit on there now, so we're allowed to swear. That's all.
Hey,
it's
about
alright.
fucking time.
Dicks.